Ready for a ride through non-stop parties, outrageous antics, and the high-stakes world of football?
Birmingham City and we're on the...
Today, we're diving to the astonishing life of Jack Grealish, a man who knows no bound. Be prepared to witness his infamous holiday in Tenerife, the unforgettable derby with Birmingham City, the dizzying heights of a record-breaking move to Man City, and a victory celebration in Ibiza that went on for days.
Wow.
If you thought you knew football, think again. Welcome to the wild, the raucous, the downright bizarre life of Jack Grealish. His story has it all. Unending party escapades, controversies, a penchant for the unpredictable, and an unstoppable spirit that's shaken the very core of British football. Prepare to meet a man who takes the phrase, work hard, play harder, to a whole new level. So, buckle up today. We are talking about his notorious nightlife habits, his on-field triumphs and misadventures, and everything else in between. This isn't your everyday rags to riches football tale, but the story of football's last great party animal. Welcome to the Jack Grealish Show. As the camera flashes fade and the music dies down, we find ourselves back in 2015. Young Jack Grealish, a promising lad of just 19 years old, embarks on the boys' holiday to Tenerife. The nights are long and filled with revelry, enough to bring even the most seasoned partygoers to their knees. But our Jack? He's made of sterner stuff. After downing copious amounts of booze, Grealish is discovered passed out on the street at the crack of dawn. Quite a sight, wouldn't you agree? When the story hits the papers, Grealish, in his typical calm fashion, shrugs off the incident with a cheeky, "I'm on the floor apparently." This becomes a catchphrase that echoes around him as he continues to rise in the world of football. But the controversies don't stop there. Oh no. A memorable derby between Aston Villa and Birmingham City turns sour when a fan rushes onto the pitch and sucker punches Grealish from behind. Like a true champion, he dusts himself off and rises literally and figuratively. He scores the winning goal against Birmingham, turning a terrible experience into the triumph of the century. When asked about the incident later, he proudly declares it the
Best day of my life.
The floor doesn't seem like such a bad place to be when you can bounce back like that. And it doesn't end there. You see, as Grealish's star continues to ascend, his thirst for a good party, or the sesh as he fondly calls it, grows too. His infamous morning exit from a party in his Range Rover ends in disaster. A series of collisions leave neighbors gaping at a disheveled Grealish, wearing mismatched shoes and looking distinctly unsteady on his feet. It's clear even at this stage that Grealish is no ordinary footballer. This young man wears controversy as comfortably as his football kit, turning each stumble into a step towards greater fame. Are you still with us? Excellent, because we're about to crank it up a notch. Jack Grealish's roller coaster journey is just about to get started. Coming up next are the most unforgettable moments.
Whoa. Here I come. Oh, here I come.
That's right. Prepare to be amazed, bewildered, and left in stitches. The Jack Grealish saga continues, and trust us, you don't want to miss what comes next. As our tale unfolds, you might wonder, could it get any wilder? And to that, hold on to your seats, folks, because we're just getting started. With his career soaring and reputation growing, so too did the magnitude of Jack Grealish's escapades. The ground trembles beneath him, but he seems to dance to the beat of it. It wasn't long before an all-too revealing photograph of Grealish in bed with a topless woman surfaced, stirring up a media storm. Now, did that faze our boy Jack? Nah, not one bit. His feat on the field remained as elegant as ever. On the pitch, Grealish was the stuff of nightmares for the opposition's defense. His explosive form was instrumental in rescuing Aston Villa from relegation in 2020. When the Times asked him what he would do if he wasn't a footballer, his answer was unflinchingly Grealish. "I'd be a club promoter," he said. "Tenerife or Ibiza. I would be getting everyone into the club." His infamous geographic knowledge, or lack thereof, was exposed when he was asked to point to Birmingham on a map of the UK. He stared blankly at the map, unsure of what he was looking at. And let's not forget the time he was asked if he was an encyclopedia of football. His response?
Oh, well, I don't know what that means.
It's clear Jack isn't one for fancy words. But on the pitch, that's a different language altogether, one that he speaks fluently. As the controversial incidents piled up, Grealish became an iconic figure, not just for his talent on the field, but for his irrepressible spirit and unapologetic love for the highlight. And remember folks, as we dive deeper into this whirlwind story, Grealish isn't just surviving these scandals, he's thriving amidst them. Now, are you ready to uncover more about football's last great party animal? Well, stay tuned. And now we focus on Jack's cheeky antics with West Brom supporting kitman Pat Frost. Let's say the two didn't exactly hit it off, at least not in the conventional sense. Grealish, the jester he is, took great pleasure in repeatedly yelling, "Frosty, you listening? Forget the Albion!" His laughter echoed through the hallways, and every shout was a jab at West Bromwich, Frost's beloved team. Until one day, manager Gareth Southgate had enough. He pulled Grealish aside and sternly asked him to tone it down. But did he listen? Well, let's say Jack's a hard man to pin down. Then after England lost the final, our man Jack decided he needed a change of scenery, so he headed off to Vegas for an in-betweener style week with the lads. He was supposed to keep a low profile, considering a big move to Man City was on the cards. But, oh well. Have we learned nothing about our hero yet? Low profile and Jack Grealish are two terms that don't fit in the same sentence. Instead of maintaining secrecy, his hotel erected a 40 feet billboard welcoming them. Subtle, right? Soon enough, Jack was spotted. How shall I put it? Significantly enjoying himself, leaving the club. And so, in true Grealish style, his Vegas trip became another chapter in the endless chronicles of his wild adventures. But remember, the party's far from over, and there's plenty more to this thrilling tale. Up next, we'll dive into Grealish's record-breaking move to Man City, his popularity amongst the ladies, and his partying prowess. Keep listening. Now, it's time to fast forward to that fateful summer when Pep Guardiola broke the piggy bank and made our party-loving lad Jack Grealish the most expensive British player ever. Yes, a whopping 100 million euros was splashed out for this energetic and eccentric footballer. The start was a bit rough for Jack. You can see him trying to find his footing in this new team. The unfamiliar city, the new training regimen, and let's not forget the immense pressure of that massive price tag. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbow. But don't you worry about our boy. In the midst of all of this, Jack did have something to cheer about. Oh yes, the tabloids ran a poll, and guess who came out on top? None other than our Jack, being crowned the man most women would like to, let's just say, get acquainted with. Not too bad, eh? And that's not all. When the city secured the league title, who led the celebration? Our very own party animal, Jack Grealish, stole the show, making it a night to remember for the team and fans alike. The city boy had finally arrived, and this was just the beginning. Let's fasten our seatbelts as we take off to Qatar, where England arrived for the World Cup. The team was given a warm welcome that impressed everyone, but no one was more astonished than our Jack. He sounded like a kid on a school trip full of wonder and excitement. I got on the camel's back, there was a bird. I don't know what bird it was, he began, his eyes wide with delight. The camel fully stood up. I was so high and scared, I got on it, but I didn't think it would go as high as it did because I didn't realize how big it would be. And when it stood up, it was so big. Jack recounted, his childlike wonder echoing through each word. The footballer, who was once lying in the streets of Tenerife, was now on a camel's back in Qatar. You can't make this stuff up. But Jack's foot-in-mouth tendency hadn't left him. After England's goalless draw against the USA, our dear Grealish managed to serve up a tasty linguistic treat, declaring England was the best thing since sliced veg. Of course, he later insisted he'd said sliced bread, but we all know what we heard, don't we? To make matters even more entertaining, he was asked to deliver a message to city's Chinese fans in Mandarin. He gave it his best shot, but let's just say it wasn't his finest moment. Stay tuned, folks. Our next stop is Ibiza, where Jack shows us how to truly celebrate a victory. Let's say it was one hell of a party. Now brace yourself, folks. This is where our dear Jack truly embraces his inner party animal. After the city's tremendous treble triumph, Grealish decides it's time to go on an epic bender to end all benders. Picture this. Fresh from the euphoria of a treble victory, our boy Jack decides to make a little pit stop. Where might you ask? Ibiza, of course. A 10-hour party is on the cards, and nothing, I mean nothing, is going to stop him. So off he goes, stumbling out of the taxi with the help of good old Kyle Walker. He was so smashed that the airport staff offered him a wheelchair. Jack Grealish, folks, always keeping it classy. But the fun doesn't stop there. 4 whole days later, guess what? Jack still hasn't been to bed. That's right, while the rest of the world was going about their lives, our boy was still living it up, embracing every second of the victory party. Jack Grealish, a true testament to the phrase, work hard, play harder. He may not always be on the straight and narrow, but he knows how to celebrate a victory. Until next time, folks, stay tuned to find out what our favorite party animal gets up to next. There you have it, folks. Jack Grealish, the one-of-a-kind, party-loving, high-flying footballer with a heart of gold and a spirit that can't be tamed. He's been on a wild roller coaster of booze-filled benders, hilarious blunders, football triumphs, and of course, some unforgettable moments of absolute hilarity. From his humble beginnings as a rowdy teenager in Tenerife to his wild benders in Ibiza after winning the treble, his journey has been incredible. As he navigates his football career, each step seems more outrageous than the last. He's got a knack for keeping us entertained both on and off the field, and we can't help but watch, laugh, and sometimes shake our heads at the antics. One thing is for sure, there's never a dull moment with Jack around. Through all the madness, Jack has shown us that he's not just an extraordinary footballer, but also a character with unparalleled charisma and a zest for life that's absolutely infectious. But remember, beneath all the parties and the chaos, this man is living his life to the fullest on his own terms, unapologetically.